Hello and welcome to the MrBetaByte channel, and this channel is a little bit different insofar as we're looking at all sorts of different tech. Primarily we're focusing on Beta and Betamax, mainly because that's my sort of area of interest, but we cover all sorts, everything from the VCR format, so the M1500 and N1700, V2000, the CVC format, if you've ever heard of that, Video 8, camcorders, DV cam, all sorts of different formats. But also we cover things like tape decks and radios and other bits and pieces of random tech, so Walkmans, for example, and also laptops. Even quite modern laptops, so all sorts, real mixed bag. What's a bit different is that we actually go in depth, and it's a warts and all in a lot of the videos. There's very little editing that I actually do, so you really are seeing the struggles of working on these machines, and I try and keep it as honest as I can. I also really appreciate comments, anything from memories of using the machines in the day, how much you paid for them or your parents paid for them, the problems you had with them, if you've ever repaired them, what you found, anything that I've missed, tips and tricks. Share it all and I'll put it in a future video, and as much as possible I always try to reference those as well and acknowledge whoever gave me that comment or suggested something useful. So yeah, it's a real community, and what started out as just sort of documenting my journey in repairing these machines and finding out how well they've done after 30, 40, 50 years has become quite a sort of passion to just share repairing these machines and hoping that it might inspire you to do the same and get the machines going. And obviously be careful, mains voltages in there's high voltages in some of these machines as well, so you always have to take care, but they are great fun to work on, and I really hope that seeing these machines resurrected, cleaned out, cleaned up, and that they can still give really great service is really rewarding. So with that, I've got a few machines to show you. So yeah, let's crack on. But a firm favourite beta machine has to be the Sony SL HF950, and this is my own machine. Occasionally use it for watching films and videos back on, and you can see it's got white and orange VU meter LEDs as opposed to the more standard green and orangey red ones, matching the VFD with the VU meters rather than the LEDs on the rest of the deck. So in the UK, as I understand it, they only came with this basic remote, with the full-featured RMT 232 being an option. I think in Europe it was actually supplied with this remote as standard. But did you know that the RMT 425, which came with Video 8 machines of a similar time, will actually open the skate? So cool. Bit pointless, but it's nice to know the code is there for it to be an option. But yeah, like I say, it's a bit pointless because, well, you still have to go up to the machine to see what the tape's actually doing. But you do it because you can. Just absolutely love Sony's design, sometimes just how far they go and just how bonkers they are. It's Super Beta, of course, and Beta Hi-Fi, and great results, multiple speed, still and trick modes, forwards and backwards, perfect stills. What more could you want? And absolutely love these machines. The Sony C6 from 1982. This is the Mark II version, which is the dark version with the button straight across, and the Mark I was the silver version.
which had like a T arrangement for the tape transport controls. Really like these machines, and yeah, a real favourite, to be fair. And there's just something about that positive clunk when you press pause. Although I seem to remember the Mark I, it sounds even more satisfying. The Sanyo VTC9300 from 1978.
The Sanyo VTC9300.
Then we have the Sony SLHF950, and this is one of the slimmest beaters ever made. And there's also the F35, which is PAL and CCAM ULST. And then there's the F60, which added an extra head chip, the perfect stills. But really, a wonderful machine. And we will be looking at this one and repairing it in a future video on the channel.
A machine that's unusual in the UK is the SL HF150. And really looking forward to working on this one on the channel. But this is sort of the next machine up, if you like, from the HF100. One machine that does stand out is the SLO700 from Sony. This is actually a duplication machine, so it has no TV tuner, but it does have linear stereo and beta hi-fi stereo, and it could record both at the same time, with separate tracks as well if you wished. But it looks great as well, and with those fantastic VU meters, and we've got the hours meter here, and also it does bring out the RF from video and beta hi-fi, and the switch pulse as well. But really a wonderful machine, and I've used this a lot, and it's been absolutely brilliant. Another machine I have fond memories of is the Bosch BV9600. See there, it's got rank on the front. This is actually a clone of the Toshiba V5470, and is all grey. It doesn't have any of the nice wood effect that I really like on the Toshiba. I do have one of those as well. But interestingly, it does have the sort of reddy orange record button, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, do really like these machines, and again, something that I worked on right in the early days and really enjoyed. But yeah, lots of belts. Then there's the Sony SLC9, which featured linear stereo and was a really slim machine for its time. Really such a change from like the previous SLC6 and the C7 and 5. The Sanyo VTC5150. This was the follow-on machine from the VTC 5000, which on release was actually the cheapest machine in the UK you could buy, and a lot of them were sold. They were really hugely popular. Obviously beta chord, beta formats rather than Betamax, which is Sony only. But the big thing with these over the 5000s is it actually has a colour pause or colour still only 2 heads, so it's not perfect, but and it did also have the reverse play. But really quite a beast of a machine. I mean, they are a real workhorse, and I love them. I think they're great. And this is the Sony HF100, so SL HF100 beta hi-fi machine, and this was the first European Sony beta hi-fi machine released. I find these to be probably the most unreliable of all Betamax machines, to be fair. It's not least the VU meters always tend to play up, but they suffer from capacitor issues all the time, and I don't know what Sony was doing really. They seem to be really raiding the parts bin in particular on these. I mean, they have a habit of doing this, just buying lots of capacitors from different manufacturers, and they're not always the best quality at the time. So yeah, not a favourite machine from a reliability point of view, but they can be great, and they can be very reliable. So yeah, it's just literally luck of the draw, but this one's actually really very good. Sony also had an ME range of machines for the Middle Eastern market. These were multi-standard machines, and were variations on sort of the more standard machines you'd find in domestic markets. This one's actually a bit special though, because it's an SL700ME. It's a Mark II variant. I think there was a Mark III as well, and quite different in looks. But this one is the 15th anniversary, which I think is quite cool, considering it's now its 50th anniversary. So yeah, really great machines. No list would be complete without the Sony C7. This, together with the C5, was probably the most popular of the Betamax machines from Sony. They sold a lot of them, and yeah, they were bulky. And I think, quite understandably, gave Betamax this sort of image of being the bulkier, bigger units, even though obviously the first VHS unit from JVC was significantly smaller than anything else that was out at the time. But what a great machine. Unfortunately, I haven't got a working one. This one's got a blown power supply as far as I know, and quite a few other issues, including a mouldy cassette. So this will be on the channel soon, no doubt. But yeah. Somebody asked me in the comments what my favourite beta machine is to work on, and I think it has to be the Sony SLC 30, 40 range of machines. And this particular one is a C40. It's an ES, and it's quite unusual. It's not something we saw an awful lot of in this country, with this colouring, this colour of cabinets. They tended to be more sort of gold, but this looks absolutely great. I really like the colour, and it looks sophisticated, I think. It's quite a nice way to put it. But yeah, I do really enjoy working on these. And although this one has a lot wrong with it, and not least when I turn the heads, it's making a horrible noise. It's like a grating noise, so I dread to think what's gone on with it. But yeah, really looking forward to repairing this one. I haven't done one for a while. There are many machines we didn't get in the UK, and one of them is this absolutely wonderful Sanyo, model number VCR7250. And this is an American model. No doubt there was a Japanese version as well. But what a fantastic looking machine, with this lovely step for the controls. And it's Super Beta, it's Beta Hi-Fi, as you can see. Really cool remote control, and the quality of build is just amazing. So yeah, just a shame we never saw them in the UK. And last but not least, everybody's favourite beta machine, the Toshiba V9600. And I know they're flawed, they're not necessarily the best picture. Very basic machine, obviously no a Beta Hi-Fi or anything, from 1982 of course. But I have very fond memories of these, and this machine was the machine that actually got me into repairing these things, and still repairing them today. The amount of enthusiasm I had as a young, well, as a teenager in electronics came from having a fairly endless source of these being retired from rental. Our local TV and video shop actually rented these out in quite a large number for a number of years, and yeah, I ended up saving them from the scrap heap and doing them up, doing the belts, going through them. I even spent a couple of evenings going through every single adjustment with the service manual to learn about them, and that consequently got me into college. I studied electronics and TV and video servicing, and the rest is history. So yeah, and of course all through the 90s I was repairing lots of VHS kit because of the community I lived in. A lot of it was just very basic stuff. I never really got to see anything terribly exciting, either VHS or beta. So this channel now is all about
realizing my dream and working on another V9600, and I've got a couple more of these to come and have done a couple on the channel before. So yeah, but real soft spot for these. I know they're not great compared to a lot of the other Beta and Betamax machines that were released, but I have very fond memories.